All right, so we have to look at condition checkings. So to check for a condition, we're going to use the if statement. So with the if statement, you could actually check for a boolean. So for example, we could say if true, then I want to log to the console, it is true. So if I run that, we're going to say it is true. You could ignore this. I'm just going to comment that out. You could ignore that. Let's run it again. So we get it is true, because true is always going to be true, right? But this is not really helpful. We want to actually make some condition checkings. So for example, we could check if logged in, because logged in is actually a boolean, right? We could say, okay, if logged in, we could now say you are logged in. The moment I save that and run the code once more, we didn't get anything. That's because there's no other check. So that's it. We say, okay, if we're logged in, we want to do this, right? And this should give you an idea towards the application that we're going to build, because if we're not logged in, the rest, all the conditions over here won't run because we are not logged in. So what I just did here was the shortcut. So I could actually explicitly check for the state. So I could say if logged in is equal to true, and the moment I save that and run it again, we still get the same stuff, right? Or we could say if login is equal to false, and we run that again, and we get you are logged in. Actually, we should say you are logged out, right? So let's run that again. You are logged out, because logged in is actually equal to false. But now I prefer to just use the shortcut. I could just say if logged in, because if this is true, just like how we saw if true, right? So this is actually a way of saying if true, run this code. So if true, run you are logged in, and we are not, so this is not true, so it didn't run it. Now we could also check if false by negating this. So we could use the exclamation mark to negate this. So it's also another way of saying if logged in is equal to false. Now, but this is too much typing, so we could just easily negate it like this, and we see if not logged in. So this is actually a way of saying not. Okay, so if not logged in, you are logged out. So let's run this, and we get you are logged out. Cool, right? But now I actually want to see if we are logged in, and say, okay, we are logged in. Then if we are not logged in, what I want to do is print of something like this called login. Sorry, you are logged out. You are not logged in. So now this is the if state, and we have a fallback, which is our else. So if we are not logged in, we print you are logged out. You are not logged in. So if I run this now, you can see you are not logged in. So that's because this condition was not met, and since we have a fallback function or a fallback case handler, then we have to print you are not logged in. Now there are other things we could do. We could say we could write something like this: undefined state. Now this is not a very helpful situation, but I just want to show you that we could also handle for another case. So we could say else if not logged in, then we could also, we need to have the braces, so we could log you are not logged in. And the moment I save this now, if I run this, you can see that you are not logged in, because we now have another checker to see if we're not logged in. But now if I come over here and say let's say -1, for example, and I run this, you can see you are logged in, right? But that's because this is defined. So we could come here now and now look for the type. So for example, if logged in is equal to true, and let's run that again, and you can see we get undefined state. So there are cases in which you actually want to check the actual value of it, because now you could actually just say if logged in, and that could actually mean, oh, is this state defined, right? So we have undefined state. So let's just go back to false and run this again. You can see you are not logged in. I'll just go back to the shortcut, because this is always going to be a boolean and not a number. Alright, so this is just one way for conditional checking. So in the next lecture, we're going to be looking at switch statements, which is another way of checking for conditions. See you then.